moment, he's actually the second in command. That's the man, Dusman Oki. Welcome, Dusman, for the show.
Thank you very much.
We are so much glad, Dusman, and we are having you for another time. Your viewers, Dusman, as he left, he promised coming back, and actually, he's a man of his word, and I'm very grateful that you've given us another chance to have a hear from you.
Thank you.
Dusman, before I get you back to you, let's have a quick break, and then we get to start off with the local action. Welcome back to our show. We are glad, as earlier told you, we have one of our special guys in the rally fraternity. That's none other than Dusman Oki. We are having Dusman. Basically, you saw in the first time of the rally honor cause and history, we had a very gracious and grom last night. That was way back on last week, 1 week away, when FMU stood by their solves and other companies like City Tires came in play and had a very wonderful, I would call it a honorary night where historicals and the current champions were given a thumb up for their action and the contribution to the sport. Before I get to you, this one, coming on tomorrow, that's Sunday, we have another super packed action of the second round of the motocross championship, which is having a clientele, actually I would say, a big number of guys ready to showcase their skills against their counterparts. That's class competition, and this time around, you fans are going to be thrilled to a good super action where the teacher is running aside with his student. That's none other than Maxime Van P, the newly elected Uganda motocross team captain, rubbing soldiers with his teacher or instructor, Jagan Cooper. Jagan Cooper, to let you know, Jagan Cooper is in the country to give a is actually going to be in the country for over a week and then give a number of skills to our young riders who are now preparing for the first round of the Eastern Central Africa Championship, which will be in May. And you and I know that old guard is so smart and good when it comes to racing on the racetrack, and actually the action is going to be in Nugaruga with a very redesigned kind of situation. We are told, actually, as you may be seeing by the pictures, when we had in the press briefing where Jagan and Maxime were in, we are promised a thrilling action tomorrow, that's Sunday, with Jagan really ready to give the Ugandans what they really, what he feels like is a throwback to the Ugandan public and the fans who have ardently supported them. Getting off that block, we come back to our studio guest, Dusman Oki. You're welcome again.
Thank you very much.
I would ask you to have a brief introduction. Maybe some other people missed the other show and would like to know who is Dusman Oki, and then briefly we'll get on to.
Briefly, as you know, I am an old guard in motorsport. I have spent close to 20 years in the sport. My face is definitely as old as you can remember. And I have risen through ranks. By the way, last time you didn't know, I've been a driver. I drove. You remember Sand Beach? I became actually the sand champion in Bugabo Sand Beach. You remember when I was driving X-Chipa's Super Sweet 16?
Oh, wow.
Oh, really? I did drive that one. And I remember I had a very big crowd, and one of my fans was Mr. Karim Hilji, who came with his entourage and said, for the first time you have been writing about the sport, I want to see how you drive. Unfortunately, in the last run, I did not complete. I got stuck in the sand. The sand can be very bad.
Oh, wow.
So please, when you see these guys doing the Paris-Dakar and that sand, please, you better get stuck in the mud, not the sand. The sand is just catastrophic.
I've always seen the Paris-Dakar drivers flying even what I would call service cars high.
I am telling you, it is unbelievable. Those people are really desert warriors. Because the little I tested with my Sand Beach, I can assure you I really have kudos and thumbs up for those guys. Generally, I'm the vice president of FMU, as you may know, and continuing to serve in the world of motorsport.
That's a very big spectral word.
Yes, because motorsport...
You're not even ready, you're not yet ready to
we
go.
always tell people that this is a very dangerous game. Do not join it if you are not yet ready. You join it at your own peril. It is a very contagious disease. Once you test that pedal, once you get people waving at you and saying you are the man, you are dead.
You get to get yourself a life
because this is a sport where you'll have no nyanyas and butunguru back at home, but you'll rather buy something for the car part to rest the next day. And we normally have jokes with our fellow drivers, and we tell them that, did you really notify your wife that you're coming? In most cases, people at home don't like this, but because they know the sport takes the bigger budget, which means these guys need sponsors, period, to be able to run.
And you as administrator, you've spoken yourself being the second in command. That's,
yes, for sure.
The vice president administration.
Exactly.
What are you looking up to see that you say these young men and old guards who are actually picking a big lump sums of money from the pockets to have run the sport?
Definitely, we have to make the sport as appealing as possible. A sponsor would like to have mileage out of the sport, would like to have purely disciplined people into the sport. For example, if somebody decides that you're going to carry my mantle, you're going to carry my flag, you're my brand, you're my flag bearer, that means there is a certain level of behavior that he expects from you. Because when you go to a bar, they will say the Dusman sponsored somebody. So you remember you are taking that thing. So they are ever observing us, and that is the culture we're trying to build here into our drivers, but also to build the sponsor kind of confidence into our sport. For example, you know our sport is a very dangerous sport. Sometimes, unfortunately, it takes lives. So some of the things we have really to emphasize to make sure that we make it as safe as possible. Because it will not be good to hear that in an orange, say, in an orange sponsored rally, so many of these people were killed. So what are you sponsoring? Are you sponsoring death? So we are trying to make it as safe as possible to us to be able to appeal to drivers, but also to make sure that our old guards who have been there, who have tested, because for them they had built a strong brand into the world of motorsport. Unfortunately, you come to a place and somebody, currently we know that Emakato is out of the race, Charles Mohanji is out of there, but somebody will ask you that, is Asumani Junju still racing? Now you don't have where to start from answering that guard. But the person asking you, Asumani Junju, is a money person.
Money person.
He has the money. So it's going to be very difficult to tell him that actually we have Semoju.
Could that be one of the reasons why you guys actually celebrated 100 years with honor of such kinds of old guards?
Now, basing on this other background of failure to recognize people, not knowing who was in the sport, you know times are moving very fast. The group is coming up, people are growing, technology is overriding everybody, and people no longer actually read newspapers. There is everything you can ever think of to get information. So we had to come up and say, let's celebrate first of all the 100 years of motorsport. We had to get the people who have built up this sport. We are just custodians. I didn't start motorsport. I also found it somewhere on the way. So there are people who built the best, so that we can start from there and celebrate themselves. So as you may have seen, the event was very, very colorful. It had to take very many days of organization to put everything in place, inviting these men and the women who participated in this event. Some had thought that actually their colleagues were no longer living. So you can't.
I saw the excitement actually.
You cannot believe it. The award turned into something else. I don't know. We had come to do awards. People forgot about the awards.
One of the people I so much saw was unbelieving his eyes. That's one of the very veteran, the first ever COC or clerk, of course. That's none other than Edward Martins Ntege, the dad of the David Sovias, the Ande Nteges, and actually this man is in his late 80s, and he still stands strong. And I wonder how these kind of fellas who could still stand the off guards, like look at Mahmoud Taban, talk about John Kulbia Senso Komana Wamanmi, talk about Asumani Junior. Evergreen. Look at actually some in the backyard. The fans, actually the fellow drivers, I'm saying when they read the name Sam Sally, they say Evergreen. Evergreen. Yes, you see. So that was an exciting moment. And then, how are you guys planning? How are you planning to keep it in such kind of level? Because
it was beyond. For example, at one time, you remember, I was holding a trophy of which the Atterbrick Junior in a wheelchair was supposed to have given it to some other winner, one of his young winners. The moment the old man Ntege cited him, for him he forgot about the awards, and then unfortunately we had called somebody who was still on his way coming. So Ntege, since he was in front, he had to come up and take the trophy. Then Mzee was asking me, senior, what trophy has he taken for which one? I said, the Muse said, I am not minding about the trophy. Are you alive? I am happy to see you. Imagine, are you still alive?
Sure.
So it became a moment of getting together. It was very, very grateful. In this really regard, we think we have scored so highly, because first of all, we united people who had never seen each other. And you remember, these people build a base not depending on money, how much you had.
They were fishing from their own small incomes and
very
friends.
Strong family in motorsport. As I told you, motorsport is a family. Actually, it's not just a family among ourselves, the drivers, down to the fans. Again, the fans are much more organized. You can't believe it. Sometimes more than we, the administrators. They do a lot of research. They love their sport. Rain or shine, they'll always be there to support. So it is the basis of that that gives us the strength to say we get appreciated, and we should really give you the value of the money you put into the sport.
Actually, talking about the funds over that, and I would love you as an FMU vice admin, there was an American writer for the Washington Post who was here and made a chronological follow-up of one of the crews, that's just Mangat. He gave us one of the guys, actually one of the participants, or the people much identical in his writing. He said, talk about any route in Uganda, any route in the East African safari rallies. One of the people you could ever trust with info, who always have a docket of information, and none other than the fans. Early in the middle of the hours in the morning breaking, you get them standing already in the road.
Exactly.
So that shows the kind of great passion. Guys forego other things. Some other guys, actually, I've always had some others say, pronounce themselves before their place of operation, say, you see, tomorrow I have a kid to take at this hour and medication. And then guess what? They are excitably going into the route, and unfortunately, they are seen by the employers at the TV sets like on WBS and say, oh, isn't that Joe Blower, or isn't that so-and-so who told us was carrying a kid at hospital? Well, it all lands back. That is, for me, if I was a sponsor and one of my staff was hiding to have into a passion of a sport, I would so much say, encourageously come out and say, no, you know what, than lying over before employment, then, hey, draw your timetable according to the schedules of the rallies, and then we could somehow support you in through.
That is true. You remember we have a driver who has been driving under a pseudonym for many years.
That's
Black Widow. Said, but what Black Widow said, if I mention my name,
my mom would like...
my mom would die, my wife would die, but he said, please, but unfortunately, as he advanced, definitely could not miss the cameras. The cameras really blew the cover, and Black Widow, we had to know who he was. But definitely you can see this passion, which sometimes you want to hide, but you cannot hide it. You cannot drive. And this has been the case with so many people. You remember Charlie Rebecca?
Charlie Rebecca.
You never put a camera in his. Please don't take my picture. Talk about this and that, but we say we are sorry. You are the champion. We have to talk about this. The public needs to know who you are. So you can see that motorsport is beyond racing. It's far, far beyond racing. Getting back to the awards, we're saying that they were really, really great awards, and we are looking at so many aspects in these awards, as you may have seen. Leave alone the awards, the champions, everybody knows about them. But bringing people together, bringing the sponsors together, bringing these guys, actually, some of these guys are the pillars of Kampala.
An elite of class of guys talking about the PIP's proprietor, Amos Inze. Talk about the Minister of Buganda, Taban.
Who knew that Taban was in the rally? Look at Mzee Kulubia. These are the guys who made these are the people who made the sport. So we wanted to show the young people that, please, you may think you are too fast, you may think you have been there, but these are the people that actually built the best for the sport. And it was really good because we got a lot of sponsorship, we got a lot of many things. And unfortunately, as years progressed, and I don't know, the technology or something like that, we started nose diving. But I'm told that is the trend of the sports. I'm told, is it true? Probably I stand to be corrected. That if the sport has no controversy in the country, that means it's not growing.
It's not growing. Well,
I am not sure.
To some extent, of course, if there runs over some controversy, unlike where it goes to the extreme. But when you see every person trying to poke a nose here and there in the sport, you just know either it has captivated into the publics and it's becoming every person's consumption, or running on to every person's menu. And definitely that caused for attention. If I was a sponsor, then I would definitely run over to that.
You see, the success personally, I think, of running the sport at that level is that I always have two beliefs. There are two categories of people. There are people who say,